Welcome to The Explainer. I am absolutely pumped you're here today because we're launching a full-blown forensic investigation into what might just be the world's most guarded culinary secret, the mystery behind KFC spice. We're not just talking about fried chicken here. We're diving into corporate espionage, brilliant legal strategy, and some hardcore food science. So grab a seat, get focused, and let's unravel this legend together.
Let's dive right in. Just look at this number, 11. It seems so simple, right? But this single number has literally driven the fast food industry crazy for over 80 years. It represents those legendary 11 herbs and spices dreamed up by Colonel Harlan Sanders way back in 1940. This exact combination is the foundation of an entire global empire. But seriously, how on earth do you keep a recipe made of 11 everyday ingredients a secret for 8 decades?
Well, let's look at Section 1, the vault and the legend. Are we talking unbreakable security here?
You might think keeping a recipe secret just means locking it in a desk drawer somewhere. But KFC, they treat this like a matter of national security. The original 1940 handwritten recipe is kept at their Louisville headquarters, locked inside a state-of-the-art digital safe. And that safe, it's encased in 2 feet of solid concrete. Around the whole setup, you've got 24-hour video surveillance and motion detection systems. Only 2 or 3 executives even know the recipe at any given time. It is just extreme.
But what about supply chain espionage? If you're mixing massive, industrial batches of spices for global distribution, someone on the factory floor is bound to figure it out, right? Well, not quite. Check out this brilliant compartmentalization. Griffith Laboratories prepares exactly 1/2 of the blend. Then, that half is shipped off to a completely different company, McCormick & Company, who adds the second half, and then a computer marries them together. It's a total masterclass in operational security. No single entity or worker ever has the full picture.
This brings us to Section 2, the security, patents versus trade secrets.
Now, the obvious question any business student would ask is, hey, if this recipe is so unbelievably valuable, why isn't it patented? Well, here is the crucial catch. A patent does give you a monopoly for about 20 years, but it requires total public disclosure. So after 20 years, literally anyone could legally replicate it. Instead, KFC relies on trade secret law. This offers protection forever, like indefinitely, as long as absolute secrecy is maintained. But the kicker? If it leaks, they have zero legal recourse. It is a massive, high-stakes gamble.
Let's move on to Section 3, the prime suspect, the scrapbook leak.
So did that 80-year gamble finally fail? Back in August 2016, a reporter named Joe Gray traveled to Kentucky to meet with our prime suspect. That's Joe Ledington, a nephew by marriage to the colonel himself. While they were just casually flipping through an old family scrapbook, they stumbled upon the last will and testament of Claudia Sanders, the colonel's second wife. And written in blue ink on the back, a list of 11 herbs and spices mixed with 2 cups of white flour. Oops.
Take a really close look at this leaked list. You've got paprika, white pepper, garlic, salt, and a handful of other super common kitchen staples. The Tribune actually had to decipher the handwriting, ultimately figuring out that the capital T stood for tablespoons, not teaspoons, which means this blend is heavily spiced. And get this, Ledington initially confirmed this was the real deal. Had the ultimate trade secret just been casually revealed on the back of a will in a family scrapbook?
As you'd expect, KFC immediately went into corporate damage control mode. Listen to their official statement. The recipe is locked up in a digital safe. Lots of people have made these claims over the years, and no one has been accurate. They firmly pointed right back to that concrete vault in Louisville. And, super conveniently, shortly after this statement dropped, Joel Ledington quickly backtracked. He started saying he wasn't completely sure if it was the exact recipe.
But hey, the cat was already out of the bag. The Chicago Tribune took this leaked recipe straight into their test kitchen. They soaked some chicken in buttermilk, coated it in this exact spice blend, and fried it up. And the dramatic irony here is that despite KFC's firm corporate denials, the Tribune's taste testers found the resulting chicken to be virtually indistinguishable from the real thing. They essentially bypassed 2 feet of concrete with a scrapbook.
Now let's look at Section 4, the missing link, beyond the 11 spices.
Here's the thing, though. The Tribune noted that to get the flavor absolutely perfect, those 11 spices alone weren't quite enough. There were missing links not written on that will. Let's start with an ingredient that is on the list but is scientifically vital, white pepper. See, black pepper oxidizes super rapidly at high frying temperatures, which gives off these harsh, almost medicinal flavors. But white pepper? It contains piperine. It's heat stable. It delivers this beautifully clean, sharp heat without those off flavors when you drop it into boiling oil. That's a brilliant, highly intentional piece of culinary science right there.
But here is the true missing link, the ultimate flavor weapon left off Claudia Sanders' will, MSG, monosodium glutamate. When the Tribune sprinkled just a little bit of pure MSG seasoning onto their test batch, the whole flavor puzzle completely clicked into place. In fact, a KFC spokesperson even confirmed they use MSG in their original recipe. It is the absolute key to triggering that addictive, savory, mouth-watering umami sensation that makes the chicken famous all over the world.
Which brings us to our final part, Section 5, Forensic Food Science, the mechanics of frying. Because having the recipe, that's really only half the battle. If you just take those spices and fry them up in a pan at home, you still won't get KFC. Look at this very specific number, 3.2. Science-backed reverse engineering shows that to get the real texture, the chicken undergoes a precise 12-hour brine of salt, sugar, and MSG, and this brine must penetrate exactly 3.2 millimeters into the muscle fibers. We're not just tossing chicken in some flour here, this is a highly controlled chemical diffusion process before the heat even turns on.
Then we get to the breading itself. You can't just use pure flour. Notice this highly specific ratio. 65% finely ground flour to 35% cornstarch. Now, why does that matter? Well, because cornstarch has a gelatinization onset of exactly 144 degrees Fahrenheit. This forms a rigid, moisture-resistant shell before the frying oil can even penetrate the meat. It locks the juices in and keeps the grease out.
And how exactly is that breading applied? Definitely not haphazardly. KFC cooks are rigorously trained in the Colonel's exact 7-10-7 physical breading technique. Step 1. The chicken is rolled exactly 7 times to remove excess moisture. Step 2. It gets tossed in the flour exactly 10 times, using a very specific scoop and lift motion. Step 3. It's pressed 7 times to get that ideal flour-to-chicken ratio. This precise sequence is what ensures the coating sticks perfectly without turning into a mushy mess in the deep fryer. Finally, we reach what is arguably the most critical number in the entire cooking process, 325 degrees Fahrenheit. Back in 1939, Harlan Sanders realized that pan frying took 30 minutes, which is way too long for a fast-paced restaurant, but regular deep frying dried the chicken out. His stroke of genius? Adapting a commercial pressure cooker to fry chicken. Pressure frying at exactly 325 degrees cuts the cooking time down to just 8 or 9 minutes while keeping the inside incredibly moist. It's the ultimate secret behind that signature texture.
So, look at everything we've unpacked in this explainer today. The leaked 11 spices on the back of the will, the umami power of MSG, that precise 65 to 35 breading ratio, and the 325-degree pressure frying. It really leaves us with one final, provocative question. Have we actually cracked the code? Or does that concrete digital vault in Louisville still hold secrets we haven't even begun to understand? I'll let you be the judge. Thanks for joining me to figure this out, and keep your curiosity hungry.